Real talk. Most case study videos are fake, blurry screenshots, vague claims, no context. So, in this video, I want to do the opposite. I'm going to talk to you through real numbers from a real horse business owner over 60 days and show you how we don't add a single horse, don't add more hours, don't run a sale or a fancy funnel, and still turned a tired break even horse business into a business that could finally pay the owner like an owner, not with a 4 step spreadsheet tutorial. I want to show you what changed, why it worked, so you can see what's actually possible inside your horse business. If you're new to my channel, my name is Curtis Andriotti, founder of the Horse Business Profit Club. After working with over 2,000 horses and many horse businesses over the last 9 more years, I created a simple, stable profit system so horse people can feel financially safe without adding more horses or more hours. So, who's this for? If you're a horse business owner who works all the time and just checks the bank account to see if you survived another month, feels guilty even thinking about raising prices, or has a full barn or busy lesson schedule but almost no owner pay, then this is for you. Because burnout in horse businesses is usually a math problem, not a moral failing. And a 60-day profit tune up is just changing the math so it finally lines up in your favor. Let me show you what that looks like. So meet Maple Ridge, a normal barn. This is a composite of what a real barn I've worked with. It'll sound familiar. So before, monthly snapshot, 18 boarders at market rate, 4 lesson days a week, mostly evenings and Saturdays, a few training rides and add-ons when people ask. On paper, revenue looked fine. Board and care, $12,000, lessons and training, $3,000, total coming in $15,000. Costs, feed, hay, bedding, farrier, vet share, $8,500. Labor help, $3,000. Insurance, utilities, facility costs, $2,800. So total out $14,300. Now what's left for the owner? About $700 in a good month. Now remember, this is someone doing 6 to 7 days a week, early mornings, late nights, and just one more favor for everyone. The horse business was busy, the owner was exhausted, and the business, functionally, was paying her less than a part-time retail job. That's the starting point. What a 60-day profit tune-up actually is. And notice what I didn't say. I didn't say, here's the template we used. Here's every line item in our spreadsheet. Open your software and click this, then this. That's how to. How to is only useful to the tiny slice of people who are ready right now with all their numbers in front of them, enough energy to implement and no overwhelm. Everyone else gets lost in the details and does nothing. So for this video, I want you to see what we changed and why. Then, if you want the step-by-step, we can do it together inside the club. So here's the 30,000-foot view of the profit tune-up. Decide what the owner must be paid. Separate profit engines from hay burners. Rebuild the week around the profit engines. Stop silent leaks. Make one simple structural change that locks it in. That's it. Conceptually simple, emotionally hard. Let me show you how that played out for Maple Ridge. Step 1. Owner pay first, not last. The first question I asked wasn't, what can we tweak? It was, what is the minimum monthly owner pay that would make this feel worth continuing for the next 3 years? She said, honestly, $3,000. If I could pay myself $3,000 consistently, I would feel safe, not rich safe. So that became the target. Not nice to have, not someday, the point of the business. That one decision changes how you look at everything else. So before, the barn existed to feed the barn. After, the barn existed to feed her so she could feed the barn. We didn't start by teaching how to build a better schedule. We started by asking what actually makes money here. When we stripped the emotions off and just looked at rough margins, 3 truths showed up. Some of the full care boarders were basically break even or negative once you factored in true hay, shavings, and labor. Certain prime lesson blocks, after school weekdays, produced the highest dollars per hour of her time. A couple of favor services, discount training rides, endless catch ups, free haul ins were quiet hay burners. In plain language, she was giving away her most valuable time and barn capacity to the lowest margin things, and then trying to make it up with sheer effort. So the first part of the tune up was just naming that. This group of stalls and hours tends to pay you well. This group barely pays for itself. This group eats you alive. You can't fix what you won't name. Step 3, rebuilding the week around profit. Once we knew which pieces actually contribute to that $3,000 owner pay, the question became, what would this barn look like if we built the week around those high value spots first? Again, I'm not going to walk you cell by cell through her calendar. Conceptually, here's what changed. We protected the highest value lesson hours, after school and early Saturdays, and made sure they were priced and packaged like premium time, not leftovers. We made a clear distinction between base, board, and anything that uses your one-on-one time. Those things had to stand on their own feet, not hide inside cheap flat fees. We replaced a couple of low-margin boarders over time with either higher margin board or more lesson capacity. Same physical barn, same owner, just a different story about what those stalls and hours were for. Step 4, stopping silent leaks. Every horse business has its quiet ways of saying, I'll just eat it this month. At Maple Ridge, the leaks look like long-term temporary discounts that never got revisited, no clear charge for late cancellations, and free extra services because they're a good client. Individually, each one felt small, but together, they were the difference between $700 for the owner and real pay. The tune-up here wasn't a 15-page policy manual. It was a few simple lines in plain English. This is what it costs for this level of care. This is what it costs when I use my time, not just my facility. This is what happens when someone cancels last minute or adds something on. There are boundaries written in numbers. Again, what to fix and why it matters. The exact wording is easy once you actually believe you're allowed to do it. Step 5, one structural change. The last piece was adding one structural change that made all of this easier to maintain. In her case, it was moving from random drop-in lessons to simple monthly lesson packages for those prime slots. Why did that matter? Because it smoothed her cash flow, protected her best hours from no-shows and flakes, let her see on paper that X filled packages at Y rate equals a meaningful chunk of her $3,000 target. Notice again, I'm not giving you the exact package names, lengths, or prices. Those details only apply if you are her. What I want you to see is the principle. One simple structure change that makes your most profitable thing more reliable, more protected, and more legible in your numbers. That's the heart of a 60-day tune-up. The after picture. Let's look at the numbers again. Before, total revenue, $15,000, total costs, $14,300, owner pay, $700. After 60 days of focused changes, without adding horses, without adding a day off the calendar, without a giant marketing push, her month looked more like boarding and care with corrected pricing mix, $12,800, lessons and training with packages and better use of prime time, $4,700, total in, $17,500. Costs stayed almost the same. Feeding, hay, bedding, farrier, vet share, $8,700. Labor help, $3,200. Insurance, utilities, facility costs, $2,900. Takeout, the total out, $14,800. Owner pay, roughly $2,700 to $3,000. Same barn, same owner, same 7-day life, different math. That's what's possible with a focused profit tune-up. Why I'm telling you this way. I could have made this video about Here's exactly how to build a spreadsheet for your barn. Click this tool, use this template, do this formula. For 90% of what you're watching, that would just be more overwhelm. You'd find one thing that doesn't fit your situation, and your brain would say, "See, it won't work for me," and you'd close the laptop. Instead, I want you to walk away with 3 beliefs. You're allowed to decide what your barn must pay you. Your current barn can likely pay you more without more horses or more hours. If you rearrange what you sell and to whom, profit tune-ups are not about becoming an accountant. They're about finally making your numbers tell the truth. Once you believe those 3 things, then how is just the mechanics. What you do after this video. Don't try to rebuild your whole business tonight. Do this. Write down your current best guess at monthly revenue, monthly hard costs, and what's left for you. Under that, write your realistic owner pay target for the next year, the "I could breathe again" number. Then ask yourself 2 questions. Which stalls and hours actually have a shot at producing that? What am I quietly giving away? Time, space, or services that don't move me toward that number? You'll already know the answers. You just haven't given yourself permission to say them out loud. That's when your 60-day tune-up starts. If you want help turning those scribbles on paper into a clear plan with actual support and tools built for barns and horse businesses, that's literally what we do inside the Horse Business Profit Club. We take real horse businesses with real numbers and we walk through a profit tune-up like this step by step together. So you're not just nodding along to another YouTube video and then going right back to burnout. But even if you never join, decide what your time is worth. Make your barn numbers reflect that reality and give yourself 60 days of focused courage to tune it up instead of 6 more years of "I hope next month is better."